Alright guys, Touch Club here. Today we're going to be talking through Pro League predictions for the event that's coming up on January the 16th through to the 20th. So it's a 5-day event. The top 12 teams out of the 28 of the event will go onto the Pro League to join OpTic, Splyce, Luminosity and eUnited. The format is very good. As I say, a 5-day tournament. If you don't get out of this, then you hardly deserve the Pro League, right? So like if you enjoy, subscribe if you are new. Join the Discord in the description box below if you haven't already. And yeah, I wanted to go through my predictions for this. So first of all, I'd like to have a look through the schedule with you guys. So this is on the MLG website for the Pro League Qualifier, and let's have a look through the matches as they come in order. So Hot Mic is back. This is in GMT, so if you're in Eastern Time, subtract 5 hours. So it doesn't seem too bad for European fans, which is kind of nice. So we're starting on Wednesday anyway. Hot Mic's at 4:30. Lightning Pandas Heretics. FaZe Clan versus FaZe Black is the first match, like that FaZe or FaZe Black play, which I think is a good thing, because I did talk about when the pools were announced that there's potential conflict of interest if this match is later on in the tournament. However, getting it out the way early means that, the best team will have to fight to win as much as possible. So that's a good decision on MLG's part. Evil Geniuses Mind Freak, 100 Thieves versus Midnight. Team Sween versus Reciprocity is a first day matchup, and that is a big one. Heretics versus Giants, the Spanish derby, I guess. Pittsburgh Knights, Mesa Gaming, Accelerate versus Midnight. FaZe Clan Enigma 6, seems like a bit of a big match. They also have other Gears of War events on here as well. And Team Envy G2, so definitely some big matches on day one. I'll kind of just scroll through the rest. Spacely versus 100 Thieves is a big one. Red Reserve UIU as well. So yeah, I'll scroll through the rest of these matches real quick. So what it seems like to me is that the first 4 days are all pool play. And then the final day, so you see here we get to Saturday, and we still have pool play matches. 100 Thieves, Accelerate, Team Sween, Enigma 6, could be really important ones. And then we go on to Sunday, and then winners bracket round 1. And yeah, so we have a winners and losers bracket. The top 12 teams from that, or the top 4 teams out of those 12 teams, go on to the Pro League. So I'll just go through the format once again real quick. There's 4 pools of 7 teams. The top 2 auto-qualify. They play each other in a single round robin. The bottom 2 automatically go home. And then the middle 3 have this opportunity to go again in that 12-team bracket of the middle 3 from every single pool. So going through these predictions, I want to start with Pool D, just because I think it's the easiest to call, and then things ramp up towards the top. And I'm sure you guys will have great predictions on these as well. So leave them down in the comment section below, if you do have them. So starting with Pool D, I think this should be relatively clear-cut. If we look at the results from CWL Las Vegas, okay, we do have some interesting ones. Evil Geniuses do manage to get this top 8 placing. Red Reserve down here at top 12, and UIU down here at top 16. So those really are the top 3 teams here that should be in consideration. I don't think the bottom 4 really have a chance of making it out in top 2. I think EG, Red Reserve and UIU are kind of clear-cut the top 3. Mind Freak is, they might put a spanner in the works a little bit, because kind of similar to what I talked about in the Pittsburgh Knights video yesterday. Yes, they've lost Dens at the start of the season, but they also have lost Buzzo, and they have Swifty and Beaston now. Luca as well seems pretty good. Buzzo could be like a leader figure in a coach, and you still have Shocks. So when you've got Shocks, you've got a chance, I think. But I don't think this team's going to go incredibly far. Imperial as well, I really don't have too much confidence in this squad. And then Movistar Riders, Nation of Power is the rest of the teams. So my opinion is that Movistar Riders and Nation of Power will probably end up coming in the bottom. I'm just going to change these. Okay, we can barely see it, but whatever. So I think these guys will probably not make it. Movistar seem to be the 3rd best Spanish team. And then Nation of Power have players that I really haven't heard of. So I can't put too much stock into them apart from Robbie Beeman. So that's just how I see it at the current time. And then the middle 3, it's a very tough one to call. I think UIU have an opportunity to get in the top 2. I think EG should be very solid, and I think Red Reserve have improved from what they were at the CWL Vegas, of course, because if we scroll down a little bit, we do see that in the pool play, Red Reserve played UIU, and they did actually lose to them. You can see right here, UIU beat Red, or UU, whatever. They beat Red 3-2 in pools. So, who knows, maybe history will repeat itself, but I think Red Reserve should have improved a lot since then, having that North American time to practice, and everything seems to be good with the team for what we've seen in Pro Downs and stuff. They seem to be clicking on the right page. So Red Reserve should get the better of EU, even though, players on this team have caused some problems for them in the past. I think EG, with Revan as the coach, they've made this change with Facento coming into the team. I don't think it'll necessarily improve the team, but they came top 8 at Vegas. That should be easily good enough to qualify. So I'm going to go for these two coming in the top 2. And then UU, Mindfreak and Imperial are going to go through the bracket as far as I can see it. And I think that EU have a great chance of making it out. I don't think the other two will, but I think EU will be right up there on the border of making Pro League, but I'm not exactly sure they will yet. We'll come back to that towards the end. Pool C also shouldn't be too hard to call. I think at the bottom, I think it's a little bit difficult to say. I think Accelerate, Pittsburgh, 100 Thieves and Spacely's team will be the ones competing for getting out the pool. And then these three at the bottom will probably be struggling a little bit. I'm very tempted to say Mesa Gaming won't make it that far. Haven't really heard of too many of the names on this team. So then it's between Overtime and Midnight for me as who doesn't come out as well. I kind of want to give benefit of doubt to the French guys. So, whatever. I'll just say that Mesa and Midnight are going to end up falling straight away. Then the top one is really where it gets interesting because Spacely's team, 100 Thieves, Pittsburgh are definitely the top 3 favourites in this one. It's honestly pretty hard to call because I kind of rate this Pittsburgh team and I have a feeling that Pittsburgh will be really good at beating all the teams below them, but I'm not sure they're going to get past the guys above them. But you look at the names in this squad, man, it is pretty damn scary. Spacely's team did come top 8 at Las Vegas, as we can see if we scroll up here. They were under straight ripping at the time, of course. So yeah, definitely a very good team. And 100 Thieves came top 12. Pittsburgh came top 16. Similar situation to the other pool, and it's pretty scary as to what you predict here. I think Spacely's team should make it out, and then I have to decide between 100 Thieves and Pittsburgh. I'm gonna say, just off the whim, that 100 Thieves are going to struggle here, and they're not going to make it. I don't know why I'm saying this. I think it should be Spacey team and 100 Thieves, but I'm going to go for the Pittsburgh Knights as well, just because we've seen some really dodgy things from 100 Thieves online, and it doesn't seem like their chemistry is all in one place, and I still think they'll make the Pro League, but I think they're going to make it hard on themselves. So anyway, that's the prediction I'm going to go for. Maybe a bit of a bold one, but I definitely think it's realistic considering how good these teams are, and with Pittsburgh Knights' recent change, I do kind of rate that squad. So anyway, of the 3 left, Accelerate, Overtime and 100 Thieves, they, in my opinion, will go on to the bracket. And I don't think Accelerate has much chance of qualification. I think 100 Thieves will, but we'll get back to that in a second. So moving upwards, Lightning Pandas, Envy, G2, Heretics. These are the 4 that I think have a chance to make the top 2. This is where it gets really interesting in terms of the pool play. I'm going to go with Factor Evolution and Giants not making it. I'll just put them in red for now. I don't really care too much about the lower tier teams, I guess. It's all about the, who's actually going to qualify for the Pro League. So I'm just going to say they're not going to go very far. Okay, it's Sunny B's team. Giants have made this change, bringing in Invidian for Legend, and a lot of people reckon that's not really the best way to go. Tainted Minds. Okay, I'm not really too confident in this squad, but then again, they keep mixing up with Mindfreak in the 2Ks, and they did relatively well at Vegas as well. So I'm going to leave them in there for now. Heretics is here as well. This team is so stacked with talent from Europe and Australia. I remember Madcat tweeted out they have one European team that they can actually scrim, because Heretics are in here, Factor Evolution are in here, and Giants are in here in their pool. So they don't want to scrim them. Then Reciprocity and Red Reserve are out in the States, so the only team they have to actually scrim against would be Team Sween from up here. So I guess that's what's going to be going on. The top 2 is going to be a super interesting one. It's actually so hard to call this, because for some reason I don't have a crazy amount of faith in Lightning Pandas. This is a really weird squad. I wish I could have faith in them, but they don't seem to play 2Ks or anything. Okay, they come top 6 at Vegas. That's fantastic, and definitely that's the biggest factor for consideration. But because they don't really play in the 2Ks, it's really hard to tell what's happened to the team, whether they've got worse or got better or anything like that. And, we know that G2 seem a lot better since their change. So firstly, I'm just going to say G2's going to make it. I think they're looking really good with this Lacefield squad. And yeah, the methods versus methods battle between G2 and Heretics will be an interesting one to see. And yeah, I don't think Tater Minds will make it out in the top 2. So for me, it's between Lightning Pandas, Envy and Heretics, so he's going to get top 2. I wish Heretics would do something mad. I think I'm going to go with Lightning Pandas. I don't have a crazy amount of faith in Envy, and I think they're going to be a team like 100 Thieves where they're going to be struggling to get through that bracket to make sure they qualify. So yeah, maybe another little bold prediction, but I think LP and G2 based on their performances recently, and okay, Lightning Pandas come top 6 at Vegas, I have to assume that they're going to make the Pro League. And if you look at the European teams that should make the league, like Red Reserve, Reciprocity, Team Sween, Lightning Pandas, that's only 4 European European teams. So like we've got to have at least 4, right? That's my theory at least. So therefore, by balance of probability, Lightning Panthers are going to qualify. So anyway, so yeah, Envy, Heretics, Tainted Minds, they're going to go through that bracket. And it would be really cool if Heretics could qualify, but I don't see it too likely. Pool A is the tough one, man. Like, this is actually crazy difficult to call. One thing I did want to say that I didn't say when these pools were actually announced, so thanks to Machilla's beard for this one, is that Divine actually did take down Enigma 6. You can see right here in the open bracket, Divine 2-0'd E6 before losing to Tainted Minds. So, okay, that's a result of Vegas. It's only a best of 3. How much can you read into it? But then again, this is Niall's old organisation. They did actually beat Enigma 6 at Vegas, so they had a different player than Keza though. I think they had Nevo maybe. So okay, slightly different roster, but similar sort of situation. These top 6 teams are crazy hard to separate, and well, Enigma 6. I'm not going to give too much faith in Niall's team. Like if Enduro qualifies for the league, then fair enough. But I think Enigma 6 are the only one of these bottom 2 with some real hope. It's actually a real challenge to choose the second team that's going to go out in 6th, 7th. Like. Okay, I feel like I should have enough faith in Enigma 6 with Frosty. This team should be good. They came top 6 in the most recent Pro Down. They should at least make the bracket play. So it's between, for me, Teddy's team and FaZe Black for who's going to come in the bottom 2. I'm going to go with Teddy Rex because, you know, he was good at Vegas, but people seem to really gas up this FaZe Black squad. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on that. So these 5 teams, I think, have a chance to make it into the actual Pro League qualification in the top 2 slots. Like, I think even Teddy Rex's team, who knows what turns up, they could even come top 2, but I have to predict something, right? So right at the top, I'm going to go that Team Sweden makes it straight in. And this may be controversial. Okay, they came top 6 at CWL Vegas. They've won all the recent 2Ks. And when I watched them at Vegas, they didn't have any like choke factor or anything like that you usually see with European teams. Whenever they were up in a hard point and they looked like the other team was coming back, they kept their level heads, they closed it out. They've been looking as good, if not better, than they did at Vegas. So I have to assume that these guys will qualify based on what they were pulling out of Vegas. And quicker, a bit of an innovator. These guys should be good. The next slot, I'm going to choose between Reciprocity and FaZe Clan. FaZe Black just shouldn't be as good as FaZe Clan. That's just how it is. Enigma 6, I don't think they'll be quite good enough, but I think they may mix it up a little bit. Definitely will cause some tough series for some of these guys. It's between Rec and FaZe Clan. This is what I've found out doing these predictions over the last, I don't know, year or so. Whenever I predict against FaZe, they always prove me wrong. So I'm going to go with FaZe, and I'm going to say that Reciprocity is going to be another one of these teams that should make the Pro League, but they're going to be in the bracket play, and it's going to be super difficult for them. So let's have a look through the teams we have left here. So Sweden FaZe, Lightning Pandas G2, Spacey's team Pittsburgh Knights, and Evil Genius's Red Reserve is what I predicted to make the Pro League outright. Then of the teams remaining, Reciprocity, FaZe Black, Enigma 6, Envy, Heretics, KFC, Tainted Minds, 100 Thieves, Accelerate, Overtime, UU, Mindfreak, and the Imperials. So that's 12 teams that 4 of those will qualify. So I think Reciprocity will make it. I think Rec, Envy, and 100 Thieves will make it. That's my theory, that those guys will do good enough and they'll come in the top 4 and they'll be the ones to make it. The 4th team out of those is going to be super interesting. So I'll just make these, a slightly different shade of green. I don't know. That's a bit of an ugly green, but whatever. We'll go with that. It's even a different green. Okay, you get the idea. So yeah, 100 Thieves, I think these guys are going to qualify as well. And then the last team is super hard to call. Like, do I go EU? Do I go for an Australian team? Do I put Mindfreak in there? It's tough to say. I honestly don't think an Australian team will make it this year. It's pretty tough to say, especially because it's now 5v5, so you'd think there'd be even more opportunity. But yeah, who the hell do I go for? You know, I'm going to go for Heretics. It's the Global Pro League after all, and I like these team. I wish the Spanish guys would do well just to see the Vamosses in the chat. And, okay, we've had Australian teams in the league for a while. We've never had a Spanish team. It would be cool to see. So that's my prediction at the current time. So Sweden and FaZe are going to qualify outright. Reciprocity through the bracket. Lightning Pandas G2 outright. Envy through the bracket. And also Heretics. Spacey's team and Pittsburgh Knights outright. Then 100 Thieves through the bracket. And then EG Red Reserve. And no one else gets through from Pool D. Maybe a bit tough on UU. Maybe they have a chance, but you know, we've got to predict someone, and it's difficult to say who's going to qualify out of this. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Dude, what the hell was that? I just got quad